Ever-changing and ever-evolving, I'd like to now officially announce that this show has had a name change. We are now known as Whatthefnu's Forum. Thank you so much to everybody who actually helped me vote on that, like, give me their opinion on that, things, why it was good, why it was bad. It feels good, you know? It feels good to work with you, to constantly make this show become something better than it was before, become something more powerful, more informed, more just more in general, for lack of a better term. Couple things I have in the pipeline, I want to say, couple improvements. One, I am working on the lighting situation. I know I'm like a little darkened out. I want to get like a little lamp like I had before, just pointed at me, make me pop out a bit more so that I don't look like the shadow man coming out of an alleyway to come get you. Like cover it up with a paper towel or something to just soften it, keep it from being too harsh and making me shine like the light of a Lendor. Another change we've actually implemented right now, though, is changing my stacks of games here, as per Freakin' Sweet 1987, I think your username is, correct me if I got that name wrong. I don't stack them vertically anymore because he told me that can just absolutely wreck the spine, so thank you for informing me of that. Have not changed the N64 games, though, mostly because those are Nintendo cartridges, which means they're made out of the sturdiest material on the planet. The one thing I can't work on immediately is soundproofing, like getting rid of this echo, this reverb that's happening in this room, because it would take me about $140 just to cover one wall in paneling, and that's a little out of my range right now, but as we always do, I guess we'll just take this one step at a time, eh?
There's this company out there called Mediacom. They are an ISP, or Internet Service Provider. Essentially, that means they put together the infrastructure and somehow got past the ridiculous local regulations necessary to provide internet to other people. And like all ISPs in America, they are almost universally hated by their customers. Not surprising, considering various ISPs are on record doing some pretty anti-consumer things, such as slowing your service, giving away your personal data, and imposing data caps on their customers that limit how much internet they can use. In fact, data caps are a particularly toasty subject right now, to the point where the Federal Communications Commission itself is currently cracking down on them, investigating the place and use of data caps in the market. And when asked for their defense on the practice, Mediacom responded as thus. Imagine you're out for a walk and experience a sudden irresistible craving for Oreo cookies. You only want to spend $2, which means that you will be able to buy a 2-pack or maybe even a 4-pack, but for sure, you cannot get the family size of over 40 cookies. For that many, you have to spend more. Of course, it would be nice if your $2 bought you the right to eat an unlimited number of cookies, but you know that is not the way our economy works. People thus shouldn't complain when internet providers impose data caps and charge more when customers go over them.
What?
If you haven't spotted the problem with this statement already, allow me to fill in the blanks. Do you know why you can't buy an unlimited number of Oreos? It's because Oreos are a finite resource. You purchase them, consume them, and then there is one less pack in the world, and the company responsible for producing them has to make more to compensate. Now here's the thing. Scientifically speaking, it is virtually impossible to run out of internet. I mean, yes, there's only so much radiation in the air, but one, that is infinitely replenished by the sun, and two, even at 4G speeds, we are nowhere near running out of it yet. Basically, if I use up 450 gigs instead of my normal 400 limit, that doesn't mean there'll be 50 less to go around for everyone else. So no, the internet is not like Oreos in the sense that bandwidth is not consumable. Furthermore, if I stop buying Oreos, I don't automatically get charged by Nabisco at the end of every month. If I go on vacation and leave my car at the airport, I don't have to spend money on gas for it. However, even though I'm in Kokomo, I still have to spend the same amount for my internet as the guy who bunked in and marathoned AGDQ all week. Well, that doesn't seem fair, does it? Why am I getting charged for a family pack when I only ate a handful? Here's a thought. According to Mediacom, excess data usage is a problem. At the same time, however, they offer increasingly more powerful speed tiers to people who pay more. But wait! According to the Oreo analogy, those tiers are a serious detriment to everyone else trying to use the internet. So why do they still exist? Perhaps because capacity isn't the issue here. And yes, I'm aware bandwidth costs your service provider to get more of, but it costs them far, far less than what we're paying for the privilege of using it. And what do you think they do with those massive profits? Do you think they spend it on system and infrastructure upgrades, allowing them to provide better and faster service to their customers? Or do they sit around giving themselves million-dollar bonuses and paying out ludicrous dividends to their stockholders? And it's not the first one. So even if we are to take their word and believe there is a limited number of internets, God, I feel stupider just for saying that, I don't see the people complaining doing anything to make more of them. Like seriously, how many times do we have to explain that the World Wide Web is not a series of tubes? Two possibilities exist here. One, Mediacom has no idea how their business works. I highly doubt that's the case, but if it is, well, let's just say that would explain a lot. Or two, Mediacom thinks they're the only ones who understand how their business works. That nobody is knowledgeable enough to see the holes in this analogy. That everyone will just accept it and start blaming higher prices on excess data usage rather than realizing it's because we have a serious problem with ISP monopolies in this country. Funnily enough on that note, did you know that in places where Google Fiber has been introduced, the prices for internet from other providers in those areas have dropped significantly and data caps have magically disappeared? I wonder how that happened. Point is, this statement was made by someone who thinks you're stupid. Someone who thinks the FCC is stupid, which is probably the worst mistake of their entire career. And it only hammers home something I'm sure I've talked about at least briefly in the past: the importance of tech literacy. To be tech literate simply means to have at least an entry-level understanding of how the various machines in your life work. Very useful skill to have, considering tech is becoming more and more prevalent in our society by the day. And why wouldn't it be? We are constantly thinking up new and wondrous ways to make life more convenient. The only downside to all those pretty new toys is that a woefully small number of the people using them are aware of what actually goes on under the hood. Too many of us are helpless in light of a mechanical breakdown of any kind, and if you think the end result of that stops at personal inconvenience, look at this situation. I guarantee you that because of Mediacom, at least one person now genuinely believes that the internet is a perishable commodity. That is inexcusable, considering how many of us use it just as a means to function in the modern era. It's kind of ironic that we live in a time where the answers to any question we may have are always right at our fingertips, and yet technology still has this negative stigma surrounding it, that it's too hard to learn despite the existence of video tutorials on every subject imaginable, that it's too complicated despite it being easier to understand than ever. So whether it's from being intimidated, lazy, or willfully misled, a good number of us never even try to become tech literate, leaving companies like Mediacom thinking they can get away with crap like this. How have we built a status quo where convenience is key and yet we're terrified to even take the case off our computers? There are so many aspects of a technological life that can be made easier with just a little bit of know-how. Like, did you know you can reopen an accidentally closed tab by pressing Ctrl-Shift-T? Did you know you should buy a can of air and blow the dust out of your computer every 3 months to help prevent overheating? Did you know you can boost the signal of your Wi-Fi with soda cans? I did, and it took me all of 2 minutes of browsing to learn. This is why I'm buying PlayStation VR next week. I want to stay on top of new formats and emerging technologies in my own field. This is why I want to build my own PC someday, because the end result is usually cheaper and more powerful than an over-the-counter computer. And this is why I keep tabs on companies like Mediacom, because if so many of our conveniences are produced by only a handful of people, I at least want to know when I'm being taken advantage of. take a look at all the devices around you. All of them, even the ones in your pocket. Now, open a new tab and go learn something about them. I'll bet you dollars to donuts, you'll be amazed by what you never knew.
So it's that time again now, the end of the episode where I usually open up a letter that somebody sent to me. But Fnu, you say, this letter's already open. What's the deal giving us this version of the video? Did you forget to turn on your microphone again? No. This time it wasn't my fault. I did in fact remember to turn on the microphone. Problem is, it died halfway through the recording. Let me show you a few examples of how that turned out for me. Put right there in the corner of the room, like illuminate my face a little bit so that you can see me better. Put like a paper towel over it to soften the harshness of it a little bit. That's not gonna be like maybe $20. We've got a letter, and it's from Florida. I'm fearing for my life already. Although you watch this show, so well, that was unsettling. Let's read our letter. Achievement unlocked. High in the middle, round on both ends. Dear Fnu, just wanted to congratulate you on your big move to Ohio. May this be the first of many great achievements. Progress on my YouTube series has been pretty slow. What can I say? I am kinda lazy, lol. But in all honesty, I have been pretty busy with a lot of things lately. I know this guy. He's actually told me about this. He, on the AskFM page, let me know that he watched my So You Want to Be a Game Reviewer series, took it to heart, and is actually starting up his own videos. And you know I'm gonna plug him as soon as I figure out what the channel is and some videos are live. Let me know how that's going on in the future. You know, more than the update that's here. Hopefully once I get all my ducks in a row, I can devote more of my time to working on the show. Nice. My passion for it hasn't diminished one bit. That's good. Like, keep that fire going, man. That's what'll keep you going as time goes on, even through the tough bits. I have a bunch of recorded gameplay footage and a few reviews I've already started writing. In fact, on the same day I'm writing this letter, the Framemeister I ordered from Japan finally arrived, so now I'll be able to record gameplay footage of my retro consoles in 1080p. It was very expensive. Shoutouts to Doug, by the way. Anyway, I wish you and your team the best of luck as you enter this next exciting phase in your life. I look forward to what you guys have in store for us. Until next time, take care, Fnu. Sincerely, a fan. P.S. Don't think I forgot about RTG's 25. I haven't either. Trust me, this is one of the beautiful things about being in Ohio. For the first time in a long time, I'm actually getting ahead of schedule. It's not just like going from video to video. I'm able to actually pump these out on a weekly basis now, consistently. And I have plenty of time left over to work on other endeavors, including a certain video we've been meaning to get around to finally. So, I know better. I've learned my lesson from the past. I am not going to announce a date for this quite yet, but it will be coming now, like, faster than it would be otherwise. I guarantee that. Although I want to say one other thing before we go. This was sent to me from Florida, and if you haven't heard anything about Hurricane Matthew right now, please, man, for the love of God, get yourself out of there. Like, when the Weather Channel is using phrases like, do not stay thinking you will survive this, it's time to go to a safe zone no matter what you think. Just a little PSA there from me to anybody watching this from that state right now. And I hope this goes live in time to reach you and tell you that. Sorry to end on a bit of a somber note, but yes, thank you so much for this letter. It's, like I said, the kind words like that always keep me going, so I really, really appreciate it, man. So, until the next video, where maybe we'll get another letter, maybe we won't. Maybe I'll actually have to improvise these outro bits again. I am Whatthefnu, and I'll see you again next time. Later, everybody.